Hello, my name is Adam McCanty. I'm the writer and director of Young, Free and Dangerous, and I'm going to show you a little reel I've put together on how we made the short film. There was a crew of over 30 people, a cast of 5 actors including an AFL umpire, a band, special effects unit, 3 editors, and my mum's car. So I hope you enjoy this video of Young, Free and Dangerous, how we made it. The short film's intent was to capture both young as well as adult audiences. I wanted it to appeal to a wide range of ages. In doing this, no matter who saw the film, word could travel, getting others to watch it as well. Before we even started filming, a lot of the planning was being done. We wanted to work out a way on how to make a low-budget film look as realistic as it possibly can in order to portray its important message in a serious way. One of the most important and difficult things to show was the ambient scene of the crash. We didn't have the budget or the contacts to hire police cars and ambulances, so we went out every night for 3 months driving around in order to capture anything we could with red and blue flashing lights. We then went out on location to shoot our own footage of the build-up of the crash. After that, we went back to our studio, aka my backyard, and shot all the close-up scenes of the wreckage. Then we chucked it in the mix with all the footage that we previously shot months earlier of an actual car accident. To make this whole ambient effect seem as realistic as possible on such a low budget, I added in 2 paramedics as well as a set of red and blue flashing police lights. This would help create the ambient lighting effect that everything was happening simultaneously in the same location.
This is a song about a friend of mine.
Ultimately, the most important factor about the film is the original track, especially written and recorded for Young, Free and Dangerous. The words in this song had to be absolutely perfect, as well as the tempo and catchiness in order to appeal to a younger audience. The song went through several changes before it was master recorded. Here are some short snippet MIDI files of the song's development throughout the year. Originally the song was going to have 2 parts to it, one before the crash and one after, which was going to be a slow song about the regret of what Luke did. Young, Free and Dangerous is written from a young person's perspective. The idea of taking on the perspective of the proclaimed hoon in the story was always fascinating to me and yet unorthodox.
Drunk nights, pub fights, by the morning this will be fine.
I actually created the song's tune a year before even starting any writing work on the film and lyrics. It was catchy and fun to play along with, so before I knew it, the lyrics and script followed. As I was writing, recording, mixing and playing guitar for the song, working on the script, acting auditions, having meetings with crew, attending classes and working on special effects. I was so busy that I had absolutely no time at all to have any practices with my band The Cover Up. At this stage, we had only been a band for a month. I was a little nervous as time grew shorter, closer to the filming day. However, I knew in the back of my mind what talented musicians I had to work with, and that everything would run smoothly and keep the project acing on track. So as soon as I got to the venue we hired out for the band scene, I pulled out my guitar and showed the band the song. It took an amazing 30 minutes, and Marcus, Sammy and Chrissy all got it flowing. Guy then added a ripper solo and we were filming. The special effects in Young, Free and Dangerous were tested and planned months in advance before filming. We chose to use green screen for the driving scenes, as it's a lot easier to film and record sound in a controlled environment as opposed to filming dialogue in an actual moving vehicle.
Tree. One more time though, but keep your eyes closed until you hit the seat and then like a second later open them.
Green screen, take one. In order to have no shadows cast on our actors, the crew and I backlit our 15-metre green screen to help prevent this problem. I then went out with a GoPro stuck on my car and drove around at night to add in the background footage to give the effect that the car is actually driving. Then some crisp colour correction and a mirror image flipped upside down clip of the GoPro footage all on top, and it added to the realistic effect that we were going for.
Yeah, I think it's going to look like a green screen.
When we filmed the crash scene, where the car impacted with the tree, we used a tether cord from the camera to a laptop. This made it easier to see what we were doing, as well as spot any bleeding of green on our actors and the car. The camera was then placed on a dolly and tracked outwards from the car when action was called. At the same time, the model tree that we made was pulled off the custom bonnet, and when both actions are played in reverse, give the effect of the car moving towards and crashing into a tree.
Action!
Luke, slow down, you're scaring me.
You told me how to drive, alright?
When we first decided that the film had to use a smashed bonnet, we weren't sure how to make it look real. We actually were going to buy an already smashed bonnet off the wreckers, but out of the blue, my dad suggested that we should use some plastic sheets, and surely enough, it worked perfectly. You can mould the plastic sheets into any crash-like shape that you want, and when sprayed metallic black just like the car, it looks realistic. This technique that we created cost us nothing to do. It's authentic and looks real, and really easy to work with, as opposed to a metal bonnet. We filmed numerous amounts of ways in order to pull off this technique before filming. Here's a few early stage clips that we took for the production in order to get the best possible outcome. One of the major dilemmas we had while filming the crash scene was the location. We weren't able to get the necessary permits in order to film the entire scene on location, so we had to mix it up between location and studio. While we were filming out on location, we chose to film the most unused roads at night as we could possibly find, so that less attention was drawn and the people's safety wasn't at risk. We took the shots we needed as quick as possible so that we could leave and move on from the area. The visual effects on the car after the crash was essential. Otherwise, if it looked fake, no one would take the incident seriously. The bonnet was made out of plastic sheets, as I mentioned earlier. The next piece of visual that we needed to look real was the windscreen. And what better way to do that than use an actual windscreen? My dad and I went to a shop called Windscreen Power and asked if we could have one of the broken Commodore windscreens from the bins out the front. Kindly, they gave us one from inside with just one little crack in it, and they didn't even charge us a single cent. This was perfect and allowed us to break it exactly how we wanted to. The makeup in Young, Free and Dangerous was important to add the realistic effect to the scene, as well as give a visual scare tactic and show the possible outcome to dangerous driving.
Oh, I'm just giving,
Cutting me up.
yeah, cutting him up. That's about it. Putting wax on his
How's the
head.
worm going?
Get you relax your forehead, buddy. Thank you.
This creation made our 180-degree tracking shot of Luke walking around the wreck possible. As we were filming on uneven ground, the dolly had to be packed under and raised wherever needed in order for it to be perfect level for the camera. The acting in this scene was absolutely vital in order to pull off everything we have created. Mark did a fantastic job of someone who's just been in a car accident, finding out that his girlfriend may not be alive next to him, and having millions of thoughts run through his head at this exact time. Action. Keeping still is absolutely key, and Suzanne pulled it off marvellously.
Cool, we're going to do it again.
It was uncertain whether we would have Suzanne's eyes open or closed during this sequence. In the end, we decided that Rachel's eyes will remain open. This adds to the dramatic effect, as well as adds to the shock tactic that we were aiming for. So that's the insight on how we made Young, Free and Dangerous. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, as well as learnt something from it. I'm Director Adam McKenzie signing off here. Have a good day and drive safe.